Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm George Conley with Scratch Golf Tips, and today we're going to be talking about a very common question within golf, which is when you're on the fringe of the green or the collar of the green, what club should you be using? Should you just be putting the ball right up to the hole, or should you be chipping the shot? So we're going to be going over the pros and cons of both the putter and wedge or on the collar of the green in this video. Before we get into the details, just want to remind you really quick, if you enjoy the video, leave a like rating. I appreciate it. It helps YouTube show this video to more people who will find it helpful, and if you want to see more content like this, you can subscribe to the Scratch Golf Tips YouTube channel. Now, there is a common golf idiom that is in relation to this decision, which basically says a bad putt is better than a good chip. Now, this is somewhat true and very true for some people, not as true for others. But what we should note is that putting is always a safer choice. You're leaving the ball on the ground. It's very hard to scull or to chunk putt. I hope none of you do that, but it happens every now and then, I get it. But a putt's always safer than a chip, and I will say, if we're talking about a standard lie in the fringe or on the collar of a green, and we're within 20 feet of the hole, 20 feet or less, 95% of the time we're going to be using putter. So just know, those simple standard shots from just off the green, we're going to want to be using the putter. That being said, now if we're talking about 40 feet, 50 feet going across the green, then that brings up the decision we might not want to go with putter. If you're not comfortable with putter, don't go with putter. If you're not comfortable with wedge, don't go with wedge. But let's talk about a few factors specifically that will make you definitely want to use your wedge instead of the putter. The first factor, and one that a lot of people don't think about, is even if you're going over a foot of fringe, a foot of that collar of the green, if that's uncertain to you, if it's a little bit too grown out, if they didn't mow it well, if they haven't pressed it down, if there are a few bumps in it, maybe it rained the night before, maybe it's a morning round and there's dew, that first foot, or maybe it's 2 feet, maybe it's even 6 inches, that's going to influence the roll of your ball a ton. So if you're hitting a putt and you heavily underestimate how thick that rough is or how thick that grass is, you're gonna hit a very bad putt because it's gonna come up way short. So if there is a lot of uncertainty in that grass, just chip over it. You can hit I'm not saying hit a big old flop shot and send the ball a million feet in the air. Just take an 8-iron or a 7-iron and just bump the ball so it clears all of that fringe, and then you get onto the green, you get onto that flat surface, and then it rolls out true. So that's one reason that you would take a wedge. Another reason is undulation. If you're on a fast green or just a green that has heavy slope in it, sometimes that slope will manifest itself at the beginning of your shot. If we're talking about a 50-foot shot that we want to either putt or chip, and the first 15 feet of it really slope heavily, whether it be left to right, right to left, forward to back, whatever it is. If there's a ton, maybe it's a false front, that's very common in course architecture. If you don't like the look of the undulation, then pitch over it. You can just take it out of the equation entirely. If you have your putt and you're standing behind it and you don't like the way it looks, you can go over it. There's nothing against that. So take out a wedge. As I said earlier, if you're going to just hit it over, a foot of that grass, you can take an 8-iron. If you're going to hit it over 15 feet, if you definitely want to get it over undulation, that's probably time to put together, maybe a gap wedge or approach wedge, somewhere in that, hopefully above 46, which is a pitching wedge, 46 degree. We want to be talking maybe 50 to 50. You can go all the way up to a 60 degree if you want, but definitely a higher lofted wedge so you can just get the ball over all that undulation entirely. So those are two of the main reasons why you would want to take a wedge as opposed to putter. If you're not faced with an uncertain lie, uncertain collar, or if there's not a ton of undulation, even if it is 50 feet, if you're confident in the way that you're rolling the ball, take out putter. It's always safer, it's always smarter, unless, as I spoke about earlier, those two other reasons. So tell me what you prefer. Do you like to take the wedge or the putter? There's no right or wrong answer. Golf's a game of whatever makes you more confident. So I've had times where I have just been dreadful with my putter on lag putts, and it'll be a 25-foot straightforward shot, and I'll take out a 52-degree wedge. I'll just bump it up there, because that's what I'm comfortable with. So there's, again, never a right or wrong answer, but leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think on this debate, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and how, what different parts go into your decision making for that club choice. If you like the apparel that I wear in these videos, I wear John Morgan Sportswear. They are a proud partner of Scratch Golf Tips, and you can use code SGT2021. That'll get you 20% off your order, and if you spend more than $100 worth of merchandise, you will get free shipping on that order, so you can check that out in the link in the description. Thank you all very much for watching. Play well, and take care.